What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 4 Dummies, where I am joined with the other 3 dummies. Tonight, I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
Robert Detoff.
Feels like such a long time saying it, but hello!
And I have just one.
What's happening?
So tonight, we're going to talk about something that has come up as a result of my What Happened to MP G1 3P discussion, which is that a lot of companies have moved from G1 into the Bayformers kind of universe. Let's start off by saying what companies have done this. Toy World, Zeta, New Age, DX9, Unique Toys, Takara.
Weijiang, they're doing a Prime, but they changed their name. And there's a few other companies, and I've lost track how many companies are actually doing a Bumblebee Prime, but there are several.
And plus we have Non-Transforming 3A, which is a licensed third-party company making a Prime and a Bumblebee, and then who knows what else. People have said in the comments and such that they think that this is a major contributor as to why we're not getting as much G1 stuff. What are your thoughts, Jisk?
I hate it all. I hate that they're making it. I hate that you people are buying it. Stop. Just stop.
Everybody was pretty psyched about the Bumblebee having more G1 true representations of characters in the film. Now we're getting toys of those characters, and nobody's excited. Is anybody
We're
excited?
not getting toys of those characters. You're just getting toys of Bumblebee.
In Prime.
We're getting Soundwave.
Great. You're getting a character you don't even know what the alt mode looks like. Just making shit up.
If they did all of those figures, all the characters from that 5 minutes in the beginning of Bumblebee, I'd love it.
See, that's my thing, is like, how did those 5 minutes become more important than 4 seasons?
You know what it is?
Because they were accurate.
Like you said, it's split towards the new era, but that in and of itself has some forks in the road, because you have the Bayverse stuff, and then Bumblebee-inspired stuff isn't pure like Bayverse. It's not. It's like a mix of Bayverse and G1, which I think is bringing a lot of G1 collectors back.
They dialed it down. They covered up a lot of those bits and pieces. They all don't, for the most part, don't have those weird faces. But again, dude, I hate it all. I hate it all. I'll tell you that the Bayverse movies are the reason why I don't tell like normies that I collect Transformers, because that's instantly what people think about.
It's also that people have been dying for that for so long that in their head, they're making that 5 minutes kind of amplify what that movie is at its core. And that movie is not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. But those 5 minutes, people assign it to the whole movie like it's all that good, and it's not.
Right? If you think about, like, one of my favorite characters in that movie was Cliffjumper, and I loved seeing the Decepticons and Prime.
It's not a bad movie in and of itself, but it's not a great Transformers movie. You know why? I think it's the Iconic Six. They're able to do the Iconic Six, some of them, over again for a new audience and make more money. I think it comes down to money. You're going to sell more B-verse Primes than you are a double dealer.
Let's say, a kid, when the Bayverse movie came out, you're 8 to 10. Now you're in your 20s, and they're rebooting it with the Bumblebee movie, give or take. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's like now you're capturing the nostalgia for a lot of people.
No, I agree. I mean, I think
on a lot of levels,
and always with the same 2 characters. But let me ask you a question: if you were a third-party company, what do you think is going to be more profitable for your up-and-coming business? Bumblebee Masterpiece styled B or a Protectobot set?
B, hands down.
I don't think a B at this point.
Because it's so saturated?
Yeah, that's why they switched to Prime, and then they run the markets on Primes, and then they'll throw out one random figure, and then they'll go back to B.
So do you think that we just have to weather the storm for a bit to get past B and then get back to G1?
I think that because Takara made a big deal about their movie Masterpiece series, everybody goes, oh, if they're doing it, there's money to be made here. And that's where that comes from.
That's a good point.
The Takara movie Masterpiece stuff has really crappy resale value. They do not do well in the secondary market.
And it's slowed down. The steam has slowed down as well.
It's just not so good. The figures, maybe they're good. I don't know. I have a couple.
I feel like it's probably a poor business choice.
Why?
Because I think the majority of the collectors are not Bayverse lovers.
Well, no, I think that you are right, but I think that a majority of collectors are happy of how Optimus Prime looks in that movie, and then they're happy for what that movie represents, so they get the Bumblebee as well. Independently of how removed Bumblebee seems from the rest of those. Like, Prime looks like G1 Prime in that movie. Soundwave looks like G1 Soundwave in that movie. Like, a lot of them do, but not B, because B has to look like the Bayverse B, because they wanted it to line up with Bayverse.
And he's just like, hey, sorry about that, Prime. Here's some traffic on the way. Yeah.
Like, no wonder they ripped his voice out. He sounded like a
hot out there on Cybertron. It's hot.
Laura, going back to what you said, what I believe happened. before every Bayverse movie came out, every G1 collector wanted to like these movies.
Yeah.
They had hopes that the next one was different, praying that it was good. They wanted to like it.
Agreed.
It was just crap.
But they
So they
didn't.
got pissed off. So what's Bumblebee now? The Bumblebeeverse is saying, hey guys, dude, we're going to do what you wanted. This is what G1 fans wanted when Bayverse first struck. For a lot of people, I think, are excited for it because this is what they always wanted when there was supposed to be a new modern take on things.
Yeah, I agree with you, Robert. Even in the criticism of myself is that even when it came to the Bumblebee time, I was skeptical by that point, but I still wanted to like it. Like when they were like, here's Soundwave and Ravage, I was like, yeah, that is Soundwave and Ravage. Please give me more things that I want and like, and you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's still better overall than 90% of the Bayverse movies.
yeah, I don't know if it's better than 2007, but but it could be. I'm not sure. And like the thing about 07 and Bumblebee is they both operate the same way. It's E.T., right? It's the human with the alien. The reason why 07 works is because it's Shia and B, and the reason why B works is because it's whoever her name is and B. It's the same formula, you know. And I don't think that Transformers needs that in order to be successful, but I think that it needs that in order to be successful mainstream.
Think about G1 though, like it was Spike and B, like that's the human connection is between Bumblebee and the human.
Correct.
Always, even from G1.
Original cartoons, the Transformers were the main characters, not the humans. The humans were the sidekicks.
Correct.
You know, and yeah, I wonder, like, is one reason they can't do like that first 6 minutes, make that the hour and 30? Is it because of money?
I think it would cost a lot, but I also think it's a harder thing for Joe Public to buy into.
But I mean, look, people loved Avatar. You
Yeah,
know?
but
that's still human. There's a human element there.
Yeah, there's still a human element throughout that movie. It's 50-50 at least. I think that they would have more luck with just animated movies for us, for really satisfying us. You know, they could still make the mainstream stuff be mainstream with no problem, but I think to satisfy the adult that loves the lore and the world that these characters live in, there's no way to satisfy the high school football player taking his prom date to a movie in the same way that there is for us.
One thing that Jisk had said before, he used the word nostalgia, and I agree that once Bumblebee came and hit and a new wave of excitement and interest of this new world, you know, and what's going to come next and what toys are going to come, then we see now a nostalgia for the Bayverse because that's over, you know, and then people are looking back on it. They don't have the same sour gut feeling anymore because they know that it's not going to happen in the future where another Bayverse crap movie is going to come out. So now they're like, wait a minute, I kind of like Soundwave as a race car.
They've now set the tone for any movie coming forward that whatever they are now on Earth, this is what they were at least. At least I know that somewhere in this universe they existed kind of how I remember, and I'm cool with that.
There's a nostalgia for it now. I'm seeing it. Think about it. Why are third-party companies delving into Bayverse now? Because there's a nostalgia, and think about all the different characters they can make figures of and sell from 5 movies.
See, I don't think they can. That's my point. I don't think they can. I think they can run Prime, the same 6 Mac, Prime, B, Soundwave, Megatron, Starscream, and then the other character that looks like Starscream that's spelled differently, and then Grimlock. And like, you know, they're just repeating the same characters over and over and over again because those are the characters that always resonate.
Yeah, Ironhide. It's been done MPM.
Yes,
but do a better version of
I
it.
even think that Ironhide and Jazz and a lot of those characters from the first movie are still riding off the coattails of G1. Where I feel like Sentinel Prime you could do because he was actually an interesting character in that world, which was rare.
Right, dude. That's the only one that I'd be like, well, that I want to see. I want to see a Sentinel Prime.
I think
cool.
Sentinel Prime is the only interesting Transformer character in all of Bayverse, including the Bumblebee movie.
Okay, the MPM Ironhide, apparently it's not so good. So if a third party tackled it, it would probably be a hit if it was a success. At the time, those movies were riding on the coattails and depending on the hype, you know, the support train from G1. But I mean, still, it's this closed universe of characters and stuff, and people, they love that Ironhide.
So let me ask you a question. What character from the Bayverse that isn't in season 1 of G1 could be successful?
I don't know.
None is the answer. Because once you get out of season 1, it's all a fucking wrap. You're talking about hardcore fans from that point forward.
Well, isn't DX9? Didn't they make that pink sports car? What was that thing called?
I think it wasn't DX9 though. It was some like
but,
it was
yeah,
some
but
like
somebody had
random
made it.
one-off company. And it was Alien Attack was the name of the company.
Out of the 5 movies, you can redo each Prime from each movie, each B from each movie, each
Agreed.
Ironhide until he got killed, all the Megatrons. Even if you were just doing the 6.
I think you may have nailed it. Like I
But I
think
mean, that's why they're not doing the G1 stuff.
Yeah, because they have an excuse now to redo the same most popular characters. And Takara, as well as third-party companies, have proven it can be successful.
Right. Why would you make some super obscure thing when you can just cycle through these and
6
rotate
different
through
Bumblebees,
Why would
6
you-
different
why-
Optimuses.
Why would you?
And think about it, that's 2 years. That's 2 years. It's enough for you by the time you've released your 6th one, or 3 years, and you can start again.
Right.
It's a
then-
perfect cycle.
There's nobody out there with a hotspot collection.
Right now, there's a dude sitting in his chair, and he just looked down at his hands in his lap, and he's. There was like the initial like surge of third party after they became add-on kits and stuff. Once it became like its own thing, everybody was in this big race to produce, and then we were all judging them, buying everything up. Oh my God, it's coming left and right. What did you get this week?
This one's
The
better
reason
than
we-
that one. That one's better than this one.
Yeah, every week there were new figures coming out, you know,
Right.
and it was, oh, did you get this one from that one? Well, I got all of them. But it's a race, and then certain companies ended up leading in the race, and then other companies lost money and stopped doing it. It's a restart.
Honestly, it is the best move for all these companies. I want to see Drake from Degrassi.
I want to see that smiley face moon that's coming in the middle of May.
Morning radio DJ. Pencil erasers. Tangled mess of wires. Robert's tangled mess of wires.
Show the piece of ham on my floor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.